gear shifts are like instantaneous. It's got a decent amount of pick up and go. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're gonna be going over a 2020 Jaguar XE S, and this is pretty much like your entry-level way of getting into a Jaguar, so that's why I wanted to make a video on the sedan, and I also think it's really good looking. But regardless of that, a huge shout out and thank you to the Land Rover Jaguar here in downtown Salt Lake for providing us with the XE S. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get right into the video. Under the hood of the XE S, we have a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 24 around town and then 34 on the highway, with power outputs being 247 horsepower and then 269 pound-feet of torque. I could not find a 0 to 60 for this model. I found a 0 to 60 for the P300, which is 6.6 seconds, so I imagine this is probably somewhere a little bit more than that, so probably like closer to 6.8, 7 seconds. So I just wanted to quickly show you guys the headlights. So we do get full LED lights, so popping that on, you guys can see that the LED lights pop right on. I love the look of them, and then you got little accent lights that go around. But other than that, the whole front end, I really like it. I like how the lights are kind of like a little bit smaller in diameter. I just think it makes the look a lot cleaner compared to like the XJ, for example, where the lights are a little bit larger. You get like the massive grille right there on the front end with the Jaguar logo and the center parking sensors all along the front as well. And overall, I just think it's like a really nice, like clean, smooth look, and is definitely like distinctively Jaguar. Coming around the side here, we've got two 25mm tires on 18-inch rims in the front and in the rear as well. There is venting here on the side, and no, the venting right there is not real, but I mean, at least it looks cool. I love how they have that body line that just kind of like dissects the entire car. I just think it's a really cool look, or not the entire car, but at least the doors. It kind of connects to the front, kind of just disappears there in the little back area. But I just wanted to back up to give you guys a full view on the side on the XE. Now here is our key fob for the XE. You have a couple functions. You've got the unlock and the lock at the top. You guys saw the light control that I used at the front, and then this is the release for the trunk. So just press that and notice that it'll pop all the way up. Now coming into the trunk itself is actually pretty simple. So we've got the floor mats back here. They do say Jaguar on them. In terms of storage space, this is a smaller size sedan, and so the trunk is a little bit on the small side, but I mean, again, smaller size sedan, so it makes sense. Under here you got the spare tire, and again, they do an orange, and I think that they do this so that like you replace it as quickly as possible with an OEM wheel. That's just my guess, but I mean, it's still kind of funny. Regardless of that, there is the whole trunk area. You do have the release if you get stuck in one of these, but popping that down, that's all. Now I've got the lights on for a moment so you guys can see the tail lights. I just want to give you guys kind of like a close-up look. They definitely have that distinctive like look, like most of the Jaguars just have that swooping design. I really like that look in general. Parking sensors all along the bottom. You got the dual outlet exhaust back here as well, all the regular badging, and then this is how you know roughly what the horsepower is it says P250, and so right, the horsepower is 247, so it's pretty close to what the horsepower is, and that's just a way to gauge if you see one of these on the road. But there is your full rear view. Now coming to the back, we do have keyless entry here for the back door. Now here is the door trim itself. I really like the touch right up here with the wood. Normally I don't like the gloss finish on the wood, but the coloration on this is just perfect. I think it actually really works very well in the XE. And then you got the soft touch right here where you're actually going to rest your arm, and then we are going to pop in. So just kind of popping in here for a second, and of course I hit my head a little bit because I didn't duck enough, but you've got a couple of vents right here, and then you got a little 12 volts right back there. Now this seat is where I'd have it sitting. This one's a little bit further back because whoever was sitting in the seat is extremely tall. But other than that, here are the cup holders, and then I did forget to mention headroom. Headroom back here is okay. I'm 5'11", and I'm just touching the top, so I guess just kind of like be aware of that. And there's a little lights up here. Up, there we go. Gotta have the magic touch. Coming up to the front, we have that same keyless entry, so just one touch, the mirror will power fold out, and everything will unlock. Now the door panel here on the front is pretty similar to the one in the rear, so you get more of that nice wood trim right here at the front. You got your memory seat controls, and you got all of your window controls with the padding and the stitching. Now looking at the seats here at the front, definitely have like a sporty look and feel to them. I really like the bolsters. I mean, they're pretty large in this car, again kind of doing the sporty side of things. All your adjustments for the seats are right there. I actually like the look of the pedals. It kind of has like an interesting look there at the top of the pedal itself. You got your trunk release, got your parking brake, and then here is a look at the back part of the steering wheel. But there's one more look before we pop in. I'm gonna start up the XE. Foot on the brake, push the push start. And, well, everything will pop on and come to life. I like that Jaguar animation too. Here is our steering wheel in the XE. Over on this side, we've got the cruise control. You got little heated steering wheel function over there as well. And then on the other side, you got like your phone controls, voice commands, all of that. And the leather all around the steering wheel is very soft to the touch. Black stitching in the center of the steering wheel. I really like this like very like small airbag in the center, open spoke design. I just think it looks really sporty in general, and I just like the look of it. It's just kind of like aesthetically pleasing. And then notice behind it, you've got the stock for the lights and the turn signal. On the other side, you've got the little windshield wiper stock. Now here in the center, I just want to quickly talk about the gauges. So you've got your RPMs over on the right side, then you've got the little digital cluster in the center, right? And it shows me the speed, my range, shows me the speed limit for the road in front of me as well, which is all pretty nice. The thing that I think is interesting though is the little speedometer there on the side, just like all the little circles that they have inside of each other. It's just weird to see concentric circles. Like it looks good, but it's different. Now, as always, before we go over the infotainment system, let's show the camera part of it. Now, here's what pops up when you go into reverse. There are those little yellow trajectory lines. Almost said Lello. I can't talk today. But there's those trajectory lines, and remember, it does have the parking sensors as well to make parking just an easy endeavor. If you do press the camera button on the touchscreen, this is what pops up. So you can see that that is behind me, and then if I press the camera button, again, still looking behind me, and then if I press it again, behind me. So yeah, you just have the backup camera. Now, the rest of the infotainment system, you guys have seen this in my review of the Jaguars and Land Rovers. Nothing has really changed. The thing that is cool in this infotainment system is the seat controls. So notice that you can turn the seats on or off, and also you can change like where it's at. So you can do the whole seat for the heated or air conditioned function, or you can just do the top or the bottom. I think it's cool that it's like that customizable on that part of the seat. But yeah, response time on this infotainment system, you can see it's quick. I like the look of it, and it's solid. Now we've got the little climate control center just down below, and it is a dual zone climate. And if you push these in, then notice that it goes over the seat controls where you can adjust the heated or cooled seats, whichever one you desire. And other than that, just down below, we do get a little wireless charging pad for a phone. And then this is the shifter for the 8-speed automatic. Now you do have to push this button in to get into gear. So if you pull it down and push the button in, it'll go into drive. If you just push it up with no button, it'll go into neutral. Again, up, and that's reverse. And then down and over is into the shift mode. And then you just have to push that button in to put it into park. Now over here, you've got the little radio control, and then you got the stability control, auto stop start, and this is usually reserved for SUVs because it's like a slower version of cruise control, but still has it. Your stop start button, and then this is for the different drive modes. Now those are gonna pop up here in the center. So if I go up into the drive modes, you can see that you've got the eco, and then you got the snow, rain, and ice, and then obviously the comfort mode, and then down below you have the dynamic mode as well. And it does take a second to go in the drive mode, so you can like make sure that you're like really wanting to go in, because it'll say drive mode confirmed. Now over here, we've got a couple of cup holders and everything that you can all cover with that part if you don't want to see it, and a 12 volt. Now with the center console, it is all lined with felt. There are a couple more little charging areas, so you got a couple USBs and then a 12 volt as well. And then finishing over here, we do have the glove box again, all lined with felt. And the cool thing is you get this nice black stitching and then soft touch all above on the entire dash. Now up top here, we've got our sunglass holder, and then this is for the sunroof. So if you just lightly touch it, it'll barely move. If you push it all the way in, then it'll fully do the function. Now it's pretty interesting this is power, because it's just this part for the driver and front passenger. It doesn't really go into the rear, but they still make it power operated because, I mean, it is a luxury car. Before I go over the pricing and show you the options, I want you guys to guess in the comment section below what the total MSRP is on this XE. But you guys can see all of the performance and handling, and feel free to freeze a frame if you want to just see all of these options that are standard equipment. Now this is the optional equipment over on this side, and that's the base MSRP on the XE. Now notice all of the equipment that this particular one has. That black exterior pack I actually really like. Definitely makes it look a lot sportier in general. Now with all of that, the total price is $51,415. Take this XE out and see how she drives. Let's quickly talk about visibility here in the XE before we set off. So visibility over the hood, I totally just hit the ceiling, but visibility of the hood is pretty normal for a car. There is a little bulge in the center, but I mean, other than that, it's pretty normal. There is your visibility through both of the side mirrors in the XE, and then here is the visibility throughout the rear as well. And with that all being said, let's set off. I'm initially setting off here in the XES, and where I'd put my first initial impressions in this is this definitely does have that kind of like feeling of a smaller, sportier sedan, which I actually personally like. I don't like those like big, gigantic sedans, because then it's almost like at that point you're like, oh, I might as well almost just buy an SUV just because of how like big and heavy they are, whereas this still kind of has that smaller, lighter weight, kind of sportier feel to it, just with kind of like the driving initially. In terms of the ride quality though, still has like a luxury car ride quality. It's still really smooth on road. And in terms of the sound that comes through, it's probably right in the middle. I wouldn't say it's any quieter than most other cars in this category, but yeah, it's probably right about average in terms of the sound that comes in. And the steering is actually pretty direct. Like I've had a chance to put a little bit of input into it, and I mean, it's not like darty or anything like that, but it's relatively direct. I'm in the dynamic mode now, and we're gonna get like a little acceleration. And by the way, when I was doing the rev clips for the video, it actually has some like blow off when you're revving it, I found out, which is pretty interesting. I love that sound personally. And this actually has a decent amount of power, and the handling on this is impressive. Now, I am a little bit sad that it doesn't have paddle shifters, but I imagine most people that are going to be buying this car, since it's an all-wheel drive 4-cylinder, they're probably just going to be using it for commuting as like a luxury commuter. Those gear shifts are like instantaneous. It's got a decent amount of pick up and go. It's really solid on the acceleration side of things. And right now I'm just in the automatic mode, so I'll just see what happens when I just kind of, like, let's say I have to pass someone. Yeah, it gears down really quickly. It definitely gears down quickly. Now, obviously this is a 4-cylinder and it's 247 horsepower. Once you get above that like 70-mile-an-hour range, it's not going to be crazy quick or anything like that. But again, it's got more than adequate on like a passing power side of things. And on the highway, it was really smooth, really quiet, and you don't hear a ton of engine. Like, you hear like kind of like a quiet sort of rumble, but in general, the engine is actually really quiet. Now we're just going to get a little acceleration kind of from like a slower speed. Yeah, it definitely has a punch to it. Definitely has a punch to it. And again, you just don't hear a whole lot of engine. And let's sum things up here with the XE. So I feel like this is a really solid entry-level offering into Jaguar, right? If you want the Jaguar name, then this is right one of those entry-level cars you're gonna be looking at if you're not looking into the SUV lineup. That being said, I think it's a great car to drive on a daily basis. It has the all-wheel drive practicality. It's a really decent size to where it's not massive. It gets good fuel economy as well. The get up and go is actually really good. The transmission is phenomenal. It shifts through the gears very quickly. And I feel like this is just a really good, like, all-around car. It's not crazy at anything. It's not crazy fast. It's not crazy good. It's not like a crazy, like, handling car, if that makes sense. Not like crazy on fuel economy. It's just like good at everything. And so if you just want like a really good, I wouldn't say good, I would say actually great. If you want like a really great all-around car, then that's where the Jaguar XE definitely is just, it's super solid at that, and that's where you'd want to buy one. And there we have it, everyone, the 2020 Jaguar XES. And again, a huge shout and thank you to Jaguar Land Rover here in downtown Salt Lake for providing us with the XE. Check out the inventory in the link below if you're in the market for a Land Rover or Jaguar. I will see all of you guys in that next video.